Hi guys, it's Ankita. Welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about The Innocents by Michael Crummey. This author recently won the International Dublin Literary Award for his recent novel, The Adversary. And as soon as I heard that it's set in Newfoundland, it's a historical fiction, dark and gritty, I immediately bought this book. So while I was reading Goodread reviews of this, right? Obviously spoiler-free reviews, someone over there said that this book, The Adversary, is set in the same universe as his previous book, The Innocents. So I was lucky enough to come across this book in the library and I borrowed it. And I read it, and here we are. What a book. And what an amazing writer. I have a lot of thoughts about this book, but let me just tell you what the story is about. In this story, we follow Ada and Everett. At the very beginning, Ada and Everett's mother and father pass away because of an illness. It is a contagious infection, I believe. So first the infant sister, and then the mother and father, they all pass away, and Ada and Everett are left alone on this very isolated cove in bitter cold, rugged landscape with nobody around them for miles and miles and miles. But these are not your ordinary children, right? They had been living with their family on this cove. They have grown up on this cove. So basically, when the mother and father pass away, the sister takes up all the duties that the mother used to do, and the brother takes up all the duties that the father used to do. Back then, North Atlantic was known for fishery, right? And so fish is in abundance. So the brother starts fishing. Then when the ice pack comes in, rolls in, then the seals come in, and then they hunt seals not only for food but also for their fur. And the sister does a little bit of farming that she can on that very rocky landscape. There's like a little bit of area, a little bit of land where they can farm, where they grow root vegetables during that very short warm window that they have. And then there's the berry season. They pick berries, and every year towards the end of summer, a ship visits them, right, to give them winter supplies, so flour and molasses and everything that they would need for the winter. But it's not free. It's not free. And that's what Everett learns, right? What they do is basically a barter system. Everett gives them fish, right? The fish that he had got and cured, salted. Basically, he sells the fish and then he gets the supplies. So that ship is their only connection to the outside world. They basically have no neighbors. They are all alone. You might think, okay, the brother and sister sound like they are in their mid-teens or late teens. No, the brother and sister are 11 and 9. They're very young, and they are growing. And when children are growing, they need a guiding hand, right? They need guidance. But Ada and Everett are all alone. The author tells about their daily lives and, their lives with the changing seasons in such a way that you get really attached to these two children. But my, the children do not have any guidance. Basically, all they knew was the relationship between the mother and the father. And let's just say that the brother and sister, they develop an unnatural relationship, which was very disturbing, because the author pulls you into the story, right? And you are witnessing this. It's not that the brother and sister are not offered other choices. They could have had a different life. It's that they have only known life on that cove So they hold on to it. Even when they have this unnatural relationship, they do not fully understand what they're doing, what the consequences are. And it's like they are figuring it out on their own. So it was definitely like witnessing the fall of Ada and Everett, right? Their fall. So it is definitely tragic, but at the same time, you have to remember that they are innocent. So I do like the title, The Innocents. At times you wonder, like, okay, they probably are not, but if you look at the entire picture, they definitely are innocent. They definitely are living a life that is very unimaginable, the circumstances, but the way the author has told this story is brilliant. I think to execute such a story, you really need, first and foremost, to have courage to write such a story. Secondly, if you are going to tell that story, then you have to tell it in the best way possible. And I cannot imagine what this author could have done differently, because I felt the execution of the story was perfect. After finishing this book, I could not sleep for 2 nights. I was just tossing and turning. It is truly a disturbing story, and I believe that's because I was witnessing the fall of Ada and Everett. You know, I as an adult felt like I needed to guide them on the right path. And it's not that they did not have chances to seek out a life away from the cove. The ship that comes into the cove is named the Hope. It's like that light, the bright light for the brother and sister, and it's just that they just don't grasp it. It was beautiful reading about these characters growing up, learning to hunt, right? The joy of finding something, things that they have never seen in their lives. It was so beautiful to see them grow, but at the same time, the ending, oh dear, the ending. So would I recommend this book? Yes and no. If you have a very very strong constitution for disturbing tales, for disturbing stories told in the most beautiful way, beautiful writing, beautiful narration, then I would say yes, I would recommend this book. But if you are going to be very judgmental, if you're going to be icky about it, I would say don't read this book by the author. Maybe read another book. There's another book, Sweetland, by this author, which everyone seems to love. I had a gift card, so I went ahead and bought this book. That is how much I loved the author's storytelling. Even though the story did make me very uncomfortable, it was unsettling, it was disturbing, but at the same time, I was able to understand the brother and sister's circumstances. There's a lot of depth to these both characters. They aren't two-dimensional, they aren't very flat. The author tells us their inner thoughts, and there are so many scenes in this book, especially the first 50%, or rather I think 75% of the book. It's just exquisite writing. It's so gripping. If you think this book is not for you, I would definitely recommend that you check out some other book by the author, or you can just wait for my reviews for Sweetland and the Adversary before you make a decision. But I for sure am going to read all the books by Michael Crummey. I am now a lifelong fan. I also do love the book cover. It is very stunning. Do let me know in the comments down below if you have read any other book that is set in Newfoundland, or any book by this author, or this book. I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye.